Hello there, Emma. I'm just messaging to tell you that you should marry Gerald and not Tony.
Mimi, please. How many times have we already had the same conversation? The man that I've been dating this whole time is Tony, and he's the man I'm going to marry.
What are you talking about? I need to make sure that Gerald gets married before his brother. I've realized that when Tony brought you home with him that I had to do something to help Gerald find a wife quickly. So anyways, that's why you're going to be marrying Gerald instead. And I won't take no for an answer.
Mimi, you can say whatever you'd like, but it isn't going to change my mind about this. I'm going to marry Tony, and that's final. I mean, I don't even think I've spent more than an hour cumulatively with Gerald.
But I'm sure that you would come to love him if you just knew him a little better. I promise that he really is an amazing guy, and you wouldn't regret marrying him. Don't make me force this to happen. Don't forget that the two of you are married now. If you try and break this off or do anything to ruin the fact that you're engaged to Gerald, I will sue you into oblivion. Do you understand?
I seriously have no idea how to even respond to this, but please don't spout this crazy nonsense and then threaten me with legal action. Anyways, I have to go. Hey, Tony, I'm really sorry to bug you while you're away on your business trip. But it's just that your mom started talking to me about marrying your brother again.
You're kidding me. I thought that you talked to her about that.
In fact, apparently in her head she seems to think that Gerald and I are already engaged or something. There was one time she told me that if I broke off my engagement with him, that she would sue me.
Emma, I am so sorry that you're having to deal with all this right now. I wish my mom would stop all this nonsense.
I mean, I wonder how Gerald himself feels about all this. Probably doesn't like being put in this situation any more than I do. Feels like your mom would be the kind of person to push this, whether or not the both of us wanted it or not.
I think you're probably right about that. But actually, I talked to Gerald a little bit about this earlier.
Really? I didn't know you two were still talking. When was the last time that you even had a good chat with each other? If I remember correctly, you two haven't been the closest of people ever since Gerald quit his job at the big company and shut himself up in his room.
I know that it seems that way, but that's not what's really happening at all.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the real reason why he quit his first job was because he was in the process of publishing his first book.
Oh, really? I had no idea that Gerald wrote anything.
Well, it's already a bestseller and has even been picked up by some streaming service to be turned into a show.
That's amazing! He must be so proud!
I would think so. But he's basically doing all of this online, so he hasn't had the need to go into the office or even leave his room, really. Besides, he's always more of an indoor person anyways. I think he's probably glad to have less reasons to leave the house now.
Oh, I see, so that's how things are.
But I think that he still hasn't told anyone that he's gone and published his book already. I think he's just worried that if Mom finds out, she will just use it to brag to everyone she knows about him and just never give him any peace or privacy. So that's why he's been pretending to be the antisocial shut-in this whole time. He's really just waiting for the right timing to come forward about this since he knows it's going to be a big deal. I think that Mom knows that you also work for a big company though. And so she wants you and Gerald to get married because she thinks he needs someone to take care of him.
So then, I think that I'm going to marry your brother and do everything for him on top of that?
Well, that's what my mom thinks. But Gerald doesn't want that at all.
Oh, well, as long as he understands that it isn't going to happen, that's good.
Right. So anyways, while we were talking, he explained all this to me and apologized for seeming to act so standoffish. But now the problem is how to move forward from here. In fact, Gerald was kinda hoping that you and I would be able to help him come out to the world as an author.
He wants our help with that. How so?
Well, the first thing I should let you know is that Gerald already has a fiancé.
Hold on a second, he does? I had no idea.
But yesterday, my mom was going on about how he needs to marry you again. Gerald mentioned something about already being engaged, however, and I guess my mom just assumed that he meant he was engaged to you. She thought that he was already in on her plan and was moving forward with it. You know that my mom probably wouldn't even listen to anything that proved the contrary.
Wow, your mom just really lives in her own world sometimes, doesn't she?
She has always been like this though, ever since we were little. Our mom has always tried to control every little thing we did and manage our lives.
You've told me a little bit about that before, but I feel bad for your brother having to deal with that.
But now that mom has got it in her head that Gerald is engaged to you, he is worried that that is going to make things very difficult with his own fiancée, and that is what he wants our help with. So we're going to wait for a day when Mom is at home for all of us to meet and talk face to face.
Wow, this is all so much. You've been thinking about this a lot.
Well, this is going to be the talk where we can all finally decide how to get my mom out of our lives once and for all.
That's a pretty heavy task, but if you want help, just let me know what I can do.
Hello there, Emma. I assume the preparations for the wedding are continuing along nicely? And I imagine that you've already divorced Tony, yes?
I actually haven't done that at all, actually.
Excuse me? What are you doing? You need to get a divorce right now.
That's just not going to happen. In fact, Gerald said that it was a surprise for you that I wouldn't not be divorcing Tony, in fact.
A surprise for me? What is that supposed to mean?
I don't really know all the details, and can't say any more than this. I also have to go right now. Bye!
I see. Maybe Gerald is planning some kind of dramatic way to announce his marriage to you for everyone. Well, if he wants this to be a surprise, then I guess I won't ask any more questions either. Emma, where are you? Why haven't you arrived yet? You know you need to get here early for makeup and to fit into your dress. You're so late already. Emma, answer me right now. I have had just about enough of this nonsense, Emma.
Sorry, what are you talking about right now, Mimi?
I mean that you are supposed to marry Gerald so that you can take care of him. But now I've just been told that you've made a last-minute cancellation and you're not even going to be here? How could you just leave my poor boy at the altar like that?
I don't really know how else to say this, but Gerald and I were never going to get married. In fact, I'm on my honeymoon right now, actually.
What do you mean you're on your honeymoon?
I mean that Tony and I are on our honeymoon right now. And I suppose it's a good time as any to say that Tony and I got married in secret about 2 weeks ago.
But I don't get it. Gerald is here and he's still getting ready for the wedding.
I see. Well, either way, Tony and I have no intention of separating. And I was never going to marry Gerald either.
I won't let you get away with this. I mean, just who do you think is going to pay for all of this? You know that Gerald doesn't work. He can't afford something like this.
I don't know what is happening over there, and I don't want to. Please leave Tony and I out of it, okay? Now, goodbye.
Emma, you get back here right now and explain what's going on! What What is going on here? I am still so confused.
What are you talking about this time, Mimi?
I mean that Gerald. My poor sweet little Gerald.
What about Gerald? Did something happen?
Well, he had to cancel the wedding since his bride never showed up. So he told me that he would take care of the cleanup and just go home. But then after I left, apparently some totally random lady showed up. And Gerald married her.
So then the wedding wasn't canceled after all.
I guess not. But I don't even know who this person is.
I'd probably guess it's the woman that Gerald was dating and then engaged to.
What are you talking about? Gerald wasn't seeing anyone because he was supposed to be marrying you. I think I would know if my son was engaged to someone.
Are you really sure about that?
Of course I am. But this is all your fault. You're the one making this happen. You stabbed my son in the back, and now you've made him marry some stranger out of desperation. How do you sleep at night?
Mom, you've got to stop this. It's getting ridiculous.
Tony, what is this all about?
Did you really have no idea that Gerald was seeing this girl this whole time?
Why are you talking to me about your brother? If you're mad at him for trying to steal your wife, go talk to him about it.
Mom, he was never trying to do anything like that. You were the one that got it in your head to try and set up Kenna with Gerald, but neither of them wanted that. Gerald tried to tell you that he was already engaged, but you only heard what you wanted to hear and thought that it meant to Emma. You always do this. You never listen to when other people try to say when you're wrong.
How can you say something like that to your own mother?
Because it's true. Speaking of, have you seen Gerald's room?
What about his room? Give me a moment. I don't get it. What is going on? The whole room is totally empty. There's nothing left.
Well, it was all Gerald's idea, really. Although he left you a note explaining things in your mailbox. I would read that very carefully so you can understand how Gerald and I really feel about all of this. Although it's way too late to change our minds now. This is my last goodbye, Mom. Have a nice life.
Wait, no, Tony! I still don't understand!
In the end, Gerald stopped talking to his mom without ever telling her what he really did for a living. Now he lives with his wife close to her parents. Tony and I have also moved recently as part of a job transfer. The new job was partially for better pay, but also because Tony didn't want his mom barging into the office and embarrassing him. She actually did do that, but it was too late and we were already gone. Also, Tony asked the receptionist at his office to tell her that we had quit. With no way to track us down, Mimi was left with no family to turn to, and lives out her days in her big empty house all by herself.
Where are you? I've got the drinks from the bar, so I just need to know where you've gone to sit so that I can give them to you. Andrew, I really can't hold this many drinks for too long. I kind of really need to know where you're sitting.
What?
I was just wondering where you'd gone.
Oh, well, me and a few of my friends met this guy who told us all about this secret club in town. Like one of those pop-up places that are only around for one night. So we decided to go to it. We're on the way there now. It's gonna be awesome.
Wait, what? So you just ditched me?
Well, it was kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing. I didn't really have time to come and get you because the guy was leaving for the club then and there. I didn't want to be left behind.
Andrew, the only reason I came out tonight was to spend some time with you. We have hardly spent any time together lately, and even though this wasn't ideal as it was with your friends, I thought that we would be able to spend at least a little bit of time together. Instead, you've left me all alone, around with a tray full of drinks, which just cost me like $30 as I got around for everyone, with no one to actually talk to or watch my back.
Well, you're a grown-up, aren't you? You could just talk to some of the women in the bar or make your way home. It doesn't really matter what you do.
Do you know what happens to women who make their way home by themselves? What the most common thing to happen to a woman on her own is? 'Cause let me tell you, it isn't good. I know that I'm an adult, but that doesn't mean I'm comfortable walking home by myself at night.
Well then, get a taxi.
Are you even listening to me? Do you not care how I feel?
Look, I never wanted you to come out with me and my friends anyway. I just wanted a fun night out with the guys, and you had to join in and ruin it. So if you have to go home, then I don't see how that's my problem. I mean, you could even message some of your friends to meet you at the bar if you want. Just do whatever you want.
I see. Very well.
Oh, come on, don't start being all grumpy now. I really can't be bothered to deal with your moods. I'm trying to have a good night here, and I don't need you ruining it. If you're gonna act like a grumpy witch, then I might just spend the night at Thompson's. You'll let me crash at his place while you stop overreacting.
Overreacting? You know what? Do whatever you want. Just know that you're not welcome in the bedroom tonight. You can sleep on the sofa.
Seriously? You're actually gonna make me sleep on the sofa the night before we're due to go away with my family? I'm really gonna need to sleep in a good and comfy bed tonight if we're traveling tomorrow, so you can't kick me out of it tonight.
Well, tough. Look, Andrew, what you've done tonight is really selfish, rude, and just downright mean. I'm not in the mood to deal with you anymore tonight. So you can sleep on the sofa or stay over at one of your friends' houses. It's your choice.
You're being really mean, Willow. Why can't you just be cool?
Well, Andrew, I guess I'm just not a cool person.
You got that right.
Whatever. Just leave me alone now, Andrew. I don't want to talk to you anymore tonight. And please, don't drink too much more. We do have a flight to catch tomorrow, and I don't want you hungover in front of your parents, because your mom will just blame me for your condition.
Yeah, whatever, I know. There's no need to keep going on about it all the time.
Okay then, I'll see you tomorrow.
Whatever.
Seriously, Andrew? Ditching me again? This isn't funny. I'm still angry with you for last night. Why aren't you waiting where I left you? Are your parents with you as well?
Oh, hey, Willow. Yeah, my mom and dad are with me. We're all okay.
Well, that's good, but where are you? I thought you were waiting for me?
Oh yeah, about that. Our gate number was called, so me, mom, and dad...
That shouldn't have happened. Our flight isn't until 1.
Oh, yeah, it was originally that time, but to be honest, I am still kinda angry at you for making me sleep on the sofa last night, so I decided to change mine and my parents' flight to an earlier time.
You what?
Yeah, you heard me. I really didn't want to have to spend an entire flight next to someone who really annoyed me, so I changed the flight time so that I could just relax and chill without your constant annoying presence.
Are you actually kidding me right now? What have you got to be annoyed about? I'm the one who was ditched at a bar with no one but myself to look out for me.
Oh, lighten up, will ya? It's a vacation. It's a time to relax and just unwind a little bit. Besides, I have every right to be annoyed considering you left me on the sofa. I told my mom about that, by the way, and she totally agrees that you completely overreacted and that you should have let me sleep in the bed to get a good night's rest.
Oh, so now we're getting your parents involved in all of our arguments? How is that fair? I mean, of course she's going to back you up, no matter what.
That's not true.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Well, it's not my fault. My mom would only agree with me if she truly thought that I was in the right, which she clearly does.
Surprise, surprise.
Are you implying that my mom's a liar? That she would willingly lie just to put me in the right?
Well, to be honest, yeah, I am. To be completely honest, in fact, she has done it before on numerous occasions. No matter what you do, you are always in the right, and it's everyone else who is in the wrong. It's so annoying. Not to mention that your mother clearly hates me, as she always makes snide comments towards me whenever I have to spend time with her.
Yeah, well, you'll just have to get over it now, won't you? You've got plenty of time to do that as well on the flight over. A couple hours to make sure behavior is all okay, and you're not going to be arguing with my mom the entire time. I won't be having that because I simply want to relax, so you better not start anything.
I better not start anything?
Well, yeah, obviously my mom hasn't done anything wrong, and even if she said something you didn't like, I'm not going to argue with her about it. She's my mom. You'll just have to suck it up and take whatever she says on the chin. I mean, it might even be some advice that you need in order to become a better wife. God knows you're hardly winning Wife of the Year at the moment.
Excuse you?
Don't act so surprised. I mean, honestly, you've not got a job, so you're not earning any money to put towards the house, and you don't even clean and tidy the place whilst you're at home. I bet that all you do is sit around, watching TV, and scrolling on your social media. You never do anything a wife should do, and Frankly, I'm sick of it. You need to start acting like a proper wife and at least have dinner waiting for me when I get home from work on an evening.
Oh, don't start. I do more than you know. I clean the house whilst I'm at home, along with constantly searching for a new job. I wasn't going to tell you, but I've even been asked to interview at a place that I applied for. I wanted to do the interview first, and then I would have told you what I'd been doing after I got accepted. If I did.
Well then, that's good. Why are you being so annoying and complaining so much?
I think I'm allowed to be a bit annoyed at the fact that my husband has ditched me for the second time in 2 days so that he can do something more fun whilst I'm left on my own in awkward and uncomfortable situations.
It's not even that bad. So we'll be on different flights. So what? It's not like we would have talked to each other if we'd been on the same flight. I would have watched a film and you would have gone to sleep. So it's not even like you're missing out on anything. It's not that big of a deal.
God, it's not that simple, Andrew. All you're thinking about is yourself. I thought that we were a couple. That means that we need to think about one another and do things that benefit each other, not just ourselves. Yes, we might be in an argument, but the way to solve it is not to jet off on a different plane without me.
Oh, don't start, please. I just want to enjoy myself this holiday.
What did your parents say when you decided to take a flight without me?
Oh, I just told them that you were completely hungover and that you wouldn't be any fun to fly with. Also, that you couldn't deal with my mom's criticism today either.
You what?
It was the only thing that I could think of, but it's not entirely untrue, is it? I mean, you don't want to deal with my mom today, do you?
That doesn't matter. You don't tell her that. I wouldn't tell my mom that you didn't like her and that you didn't want to talk to her. God, now I bet your mom probably thinks I'm a horrible person.
Well, she's not your biggest fan, that's for sure.
God, Andrew, why would you do that?
I've already told you, I couldn't think of anything else.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
I don't know, whatever you particularly care, to be honest. You're gonna have to figure it out yourself. I'm being called aboard now, so I'm turning my phone to flight mode. I'll see you when we land, maybe? Oh, and if you do decide to come, make sure you stop being so crabby, okay?
Andrew, wait. Andrew?
So, Willow, did you decide to come? If so, then me, Mom, and Dad are gonna head off to the beach. You're gonna either have to wait for us at the hotel or come and find us, as we're not waiting for you. Also, you're gonna have to sleep in a different hotel room. The hotel mixed up the rooms and gave us an upgrade, but it only has 2 bedrooms, and my mom doesn't feel comfortable with us sleeping in the same bed, okay? Willow?
What?
What do you mean, what? Did you see my messages?
Oh, those. Yeah, I did.
Okay then, so what are you doing? Are you on your way?
Nah.
Huh? You aren't on the flight?
Nope.
Why?
Why? Well, why would I want to go and spend all of my time with a bunch of people who don't even like me? I mean, you're supposed to be my husband and support me and actually want to be with me, and yet you continually ditch me to do whatever stupid thing it is you want to do. And then you whine and moan about me being the unfair one. Not to mention how you've made me look like a complete witch to your mom. She thinks I'm the one who's horrible to you when it's the complete opposite way around. So, again, why would I want to spend a week away with a bunch of people who would rather moan and complain about me instead of actually taking a good long look at themselves and seeing how they can work on their flaws?
I don't have any flaws, and neither does my mom.
Uh-huh, sure.
Well, you know what? Fine. I don't want you coming on this holiday anyway. I mean, it's not like you're actually a part of my family anyway.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there's no blood relation between you and my family. It's clear that you don't belong in our family.
Okay, I'm off to my parents' house.
Huh?
Well, let's be honest. This relationship isn't really working for either of us anymore, is it?
What do you mean?
You don't love me, do you?
Well, to be completely honest, no, not anymore. I find you annoying and boring. Who would want to spend time with someone like that? I was gonna wait until we got back from the trip to tell you, but I guess now is a good time as ever. I was just hoping to get a good holiday out of this.
And I find you shallow, self-absorbed, and selfish. Also kind of dim-witted and boring to talk to.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
Let's face it, the extent of your conversations don't really stray to anything more than the latest Love Island episode or what hot girl you saw at the gym. I would like to talk to someone with a bit more substance.
Well, that's not fair. I can talk about politics and stuff too.
Look, I'm not trying to bash you for it. If that's what you like, then fine. That's just who you are, and you shouldn't have to change that for anyone. But I'm not going to stick around just to be humiliated and disgraced anymore. I'm going to find someone who actually values me for me. Someone who likes to talk to me, and who won't just ditch me at the drop of a hat.
Oh, that's what this is all about. You're still just angry about me ditching you. This is just some elaborate ploy to try and scare me.
It's really not, Andrew.
Oh yeah? Prove it.
Okay, I want a divorce.
What?
You said prove it. This is the most solid way that I can do that.
But...
I'll have the papers sent over to you ASAP. They should be at the house by the time that you get back. All you'll have to do is sign them.
And what if I don't want to?
Then I'll take you to court.
It's gonna take a lot to get the judge to grant you the divorce.
Somehow, when I show them the evidence of you cheating on me, I think they'll rule in my favor.
Wait, what?
Oh, you didn't think I knew about that, did you? Yeah, I know all about Rose. She even came round to the house the other week to tell me that she was going to take you from me. I'll gladly let her have you, though.
But that's not...
What? That's not how you wanted things to go? Oh well, things don't always go the way that you want them to. You'll just have to deal with that now. Oh, and just so you know, because I paid for this holiday on my credit card, I've called up the bank and told them that I want to dispute it. They've canceled all of the charges, and so you'll be charged the full amount before you leave the hotel.
No, that's not fair. You can't do that.
Actually, yes, I can. Goodbye, Andrew.
Hang on, what?
Even though I didn't end up going on the trip, I still treated myself to a little weekend getaway as a way to help me feel better after everything that happened. After Andrew got back from the trip, I sent him the divorce papers. Once that was done, it was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I was finally free to pursue what I wanted to do without having to worry about Andrew and what he was up to, or whether he was going to ditch me at a moment's notice. He signed the papers, albeit reluctantly, because he knew that a judge would rule in my favor if it went to court. As for Andrew, I heard his trip wasn't too great after his parents found out what had happened between us. They hated the fact that they would now have to pay for their holiday as I had taken my money back. Once they got home, I also learned that Andrew was quickly fired from his job for stealing. He's lucky he wasn't taken to court over it. However, he does have to pay the company back for everything he took, which is costing him a fair bit of his wage. Maybe he'll finally learn that going to clubs and having fun all the time isn't the best way to spend life, especially when it costs you everything else.